Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. 2022, Happy New Year. For those who have already subscribed to my channel, yeah, I decided to go in English, I guess, for this series of video because I want to reach a lot of person, because I want to share. It's a project, it's a new project that I try and I want to share with people who have the same passion of me. I will explain it later. What is the project, and I will have some, demonstration to show where am I at this point so far. So yes, I decided to reconnect with passion that I had when I was a teenager. So I was young. I was doing model kit, and I was hit by the puberty, and it wasn't cool anymore. So I stopped until I've been quarantined and have a lot of time to spend. So I reconnect with this time, and during last week I've discovered talented people on YouTube. So I hope I hope that I be someday good as they are. But honestly, the most important thing is to have fun. So the project, honestly, the project, I think if you click on the thumbnail, is because one, you're a fan of Arduino, I guess, and or both, you are a fan of Space Pirate. So just to explain, the path where how and how I come with that project. And last spring, they released in Japan, a version of the Arcadia, the blue one, the 78 from the 78 series, the one where I discovered, Captain Harlock. I was 5, 6 years old, and it's it's kind of revelation. When I was young, it was Star Wars, and there was GI Joe, Transformer, and there was Space Pirate, and so the 78 series was just awesome. So they released in Japan last spring a toys, a 300 or $400 toys for adult of the Arcadia, the blue one from the 78 series, and it's really cool. I don't know if you have see this version, but there are some VFX, not VFX, it's not virtual effect, but FX with light, with sound, and it's very cool. I was like, oh yes, I need this, but unfortunately, with it's like, with the sound effect, like the music and the voice, was like, no, it's not, it doesn't work for me because it's the Japanese version, and I grew up with the French version. So I was like, no, it doesn't work because it doesn't feel the nostalgia that I have for this series. So I pass on this until last in August or September. I've started watching video on YouTube about people who are doing miniature model diorama, and I saw one guy who did a version of the Arcadia, the one from 1984. Yes, 84, just 84. So the green one with the skull in the front, and with some fiber optic lights, flickering light for the engine. I was like, wow, it's very cool, and I decided to do my own version of the Arcadia from 78 series. So I bought the model kit for the Arcadia from Space Pirate, and but it's not only that. So instead of doing only just a model and learn to airbrush stuff, I decided to go all in. So I start working on like proof of concept, with different light, different blinking light. So I've made a circuit that I will present you. All the source code for the Arduino are on my GitHub. So feel free to take a look, use it, change it, modify it, leave a comment, pull requests if you have any change. I will show you also later, the breadboard where I did some work to animate this Arcadia. It's not perfect, but it's a work in progress, and there's some feature that I have, and you will understand. But the main goal of this project is to put nostalgia into that model kit. And if you aware of the Space Pirate from the 78 series, and depending on where you're born, you know that it's different from the Japanese version. Not only the voice, obviously, but the music changed from place to place. So feel free, to reuse it and play with this model kit and build your own model kit. So let's play. Okay, here we have a breadboard with my proof of concept of the circuit to animate the Arcadia. So it's not complete. There's some pieces missing, but you will get an overall of the project. So here at the beginning of the breadboard, we have a 555 timer, the blinking with yellow light for the bridge. We have also other yellow light that will go under the ship. I have had also flickering LED for the engine. And so this is the easy part. There's nothing connected to the Arduino. But the interesting part of this build is this button here. I say interesting, it's not complicated, but it's interesting. So this is the button, and you will see later in the code, it's called the attack button. So when I press this button, I have my SD card reader. I've tried with a small, speaker, and it works, but it's not enough loud. So I've ordered a small amplifier to have more sound. And what's happening during the attack? So yes, we'll have a soundtrack that will be played that is on the SD card, and also the servo motor. Actually, I have only one. I need to order other one, smaller, because they are too large to fit into the cockpit. So I've checked, I made some tests, and I found there's a smaller one. So yes, so when we'll see in the code. So most of what's happening is on the push of this button. In the code, yes, I start a sequence of different stuff. There's a light here. Something I forgot to say. This LED and this LED, will use also fiber optic. So the blinking will have the fiber optic for the the small light beside the bridge, and this one will light the end of the cannon on the turret. So I'm already working on it. I did the holes with the 0.8 millimeter drill. So that's it for the circuit. So let's take a look at the code that I did to put Arcadia model kit. It's really simple, but there's a few tricks that I want to show you. First of all, because I'm using servo motor with the TMR PCM library for the sound, I realized there was a problem with the servo motor. I didn't know, and after a few research, I found that there's a problem with the timer, and they use the same timer. So I had to change something in the PCM configuration. This is why I include the library. So here in the PCM config, if you go, this line should be command. So you have to uncomment this line, and it will use the second timer and it works well. change everything. So okay, so we have the land. You will see what it's for later. We have the pin use our variables. Initial angle. You will see there's a method about the attack. You will understand. It's just to reinitialize, the turret at the center. Attack button state. We have initialize, the SD card, the speaker, the servo cannon. Actually, we have only one, but in the future we'll add others. Okay, so in the loop, the attack button state. When we activate the button state, we start obviously this track. It's the audio with some sound effect that I had, and the music and from the Space Pirate. But just before the initialize attack, this is the interesting part that I had to the code. So instead of doing every time the same routine, I decided to add more random to the initialize attack. So I did a switch with 5 states possible. So there's a running random number 1 to 5, and it's depending the number, the enemy, the virtual enemy coming to the Arcadia is coming from 5 different positions. So if it's 1, they're coming on the left. 2, it's 10 o'clock. 3, it's on the front, and so on. And it's something that I had different to do because there's some idea I had, but I didn't have time to implement it. But anyway, the code is on GitHub. If you want to play with it, you can. Here in the angle of attack, something that I want to do, instead of going like 160 degree, whatever the attack select, I want to specify depending on the attack. So it's on the front. Instead of going 160 degree, I want to reduce that angle is like, I don't know, let's say 40-50 degree. So it will go from 75 to 125. So it will be more like going left and right. So it's something that I think is cool. Let me know. And yes, and this is the code. So there's some delay left and right, just to let the time to simulate like it's an attack. Also we have the fire function, and fire function is just we fade in and fade out the LED of the laser. For now we have only one, but in the future we can add 2, we can others 3 depending, and it's for the Arcadia, but it can be for any model kit you want to build, or whatever you want to build. So yeah, so it's pretty much for the code. So if you have any question, if you want to add any improvement, if you have any idea, leave a comment, pull request, open an issue, and yes, I did it to share with you guys. So I hope you enjoy. I don't know if I have already said that, but all the schematic and the code is on my GitHub. The schematic is probably not up to date, but don't hesitate to ask, and I will do an update on it. But the source code is the latest, so feel free to take a look, and if you like it, you love it, don't hesitate. Subscribe to my channel. Okay, so we are at the part where I show you, the integration of everything. Not everything, but what I've built so far, and it will give you a glimpse of what I'm talking about. Nostalgia. I hope it's good enough. So you will hear the excellent track of Attack in the French version of Space Pirate. I hope you enjoy it. Personally, it's just insane, and it reminds me, a lot of memory. So let's go. So that's it for this part of where I demonstrate, the idea and the proof of concept of this build. And see you next time for another part where I think the next part I will explain, what I did with the model kit. I drill a lot of holes, cut parts, and it's very cool actually. When you start, it's very cool. So hey, see you next time.